What's up guys, Matt here coming at you with another quick video. This one we're going to take just a quick look at this newish Scx24 Power Wagon. I say newish because it's kind of the same Scx24 underneath. You know, when these things, there for a while, I just could not wait to get my hands on the newest release of every one of these, and I would order it and I would get like 1 day or 2 day shipping the best I could, just so I could get it as quick as I could for you guys and run it. And I was excited, and I've had this one for 2 weeks, and I mean, I ran it like 2 minutes out there. I posted a short where I made a crawl with it, and that's all I've done with it. So I am going to try to run this maybe on the indoor course and then some outside, just so you guys can see it run. But I'm not super excited about these anymore. When stuff like these are coming out, and you know, the Scx18 and the Furitek Wagon and all that stuff, I just don't feel like they've done enough here, and I think they are losing a little bit of traction. You know, there's Axial fanboys that are going to say, oh, blah, 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 whatever. They're going to love Axial no matter what they do. But they've lost their appeal to me for sure, because I just really wasn't, I mean, I'm always excited to get a new RC, but I kind of know what it is already, because there's just nothing that new to this besides a couple things. And we'll talk about that in a minute when we get it to the bench. I mean, I like kind of what they did, but they got to do more is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, and then we've got the trailer here, which is pretty cool. It's pretty small. I guess it fits most of the 24, you know, size, but compared to like some of the trailers we've been getting, it's very small. So we'll kind of do a size comparison of this trailer to a couple others that I have and talk about all of that. But first off, I just want to talk about some of the things we get with this. The standard transmitter here, the SLT2, it does have a very good feel to it. It's got some adjustability. You've got a 50, 75, 100% throttle setting over here. You've got your steering and throttle trims. Very nice foam wheel, and it's one-hand drivable for sure. This is a really nice radio, and I like it better than the old transmitters we were getting. The problem is the ESC that it's paired to in here is not good. So I would rather just have the V2 setup that we used to get, but that is what it is. And we get this now labeled Spectrum 350 mAh battery pack, same as usual. We've got, this is the paperwork for the hitch, and the trailer, it talks about hooking the wires up. This does have lights to it and everything. Of course, you get your manual. You do get AA batteries, which is really nice. And then you've got your roof rack, or your rack, and your tent top and all of that stuff. I may put that on. I don't know if I'll even bother. And then they got, you know, the newish style Spectrum charger in here, which is supposed to be better than the old ones. I never use any of these, so I couldn't tell you. And then we have some preload spacers for the shocks, which are now oil filled. So, you know, they did a couple things to this, and I like that. I'm not trying to trash on that, but I think they're going to have to do more, because just for me personally, they've definitely lost some of that appeal. Honestly, if I wasn't getting this to do a video and just check it out for the channel, I wouldn't have bought one, because I wasn't interested in it. The body's kind of cool, like it's not something I just had to have, but the rest of it I could care less, to be honest. So that's why it's kind of is what it is, I guess. But let's take it over to the bench here so we can get a closer look. We'll do some size comparisons and that sort of thing, and let you guys we'll take this out and run it and let you see what it can do, because it does perform a little better than most Scx24s, I think. They did add some nice touches to this body, which makes it pop on the course. I found myself really loving the way it was looking on the course. The front bumper fits better than a lot we've seen in the past. You've actually got real plastic door handles there. You've got the light buckets, folding mirrors, the running boards. So a lot of nice touches, but they also kept the body pretty lightweight. So it performs really well and has all of those little touches. So in the end, I think that added with the Swamper tires really helps the looks and performance of this RTR. So as you can see, they did add a couple things to this. Like I said, the oil-filled shocks, and most importantly, I think these Swampers, because these are some very good tires. I really like these tires. I like the size. I like the look. You know, even on this truck, they fit very well. As you can see here, these oil-filled shocks, they seem to work really well. I don't have much time with these. If anybody else has ran theirs quite a bit and know if they leak or not, let me know. But out of the box, these feel really good. You don't have that shake that you used to get with all of the Scx24s. I mean, it makes a huge difference when it comes to performance as well, because the thing just stays a little more planted. It's not just bobbling around everywhere. The longer wheelbase of this thing really fits kind of like the Gladiator. You know, that thing really performed better because of the wheelbase. So I think that's part of the reason this performs better. And then we've got, like I said, the shocks and the tires that help as well. This does have headlights that are working. It has buckets for the tail lights. So if you want to add tail lights, you can, but unfortunately it doesn't come with any. This hitch, I like how they did that. There's just a pin here. You can pull that out of the way. That way, if you really want to try to get some more crawling in, you don't have this hanging up on everything. But when you're ready to put it on, you don't have to crank in a screw from behind. That's one of the issues with this, to me. I have to deal with a screw, like putting it on. So it is a little bit adjustable too. There's holes in there, so if you need it back out away from the bumper, you can put the pin through like right here, or you can bring it in. So that's nice as well. And it goes on pretty easily. Everything else is basically the same. We have a Velcro piece here holding the body in the front, and then it's on a hinge. And as you can see, motor, transmission, ESC, all of that stuff is the same in here. I do have an older battery in here that I ran the other day because I was charging this one, but this is what it comes with now. So you can see pretty much the same thing. I'm sure it's the same pack. They just changed the sticker. So this Spectrum 2-in-1 combo here, it's not very good. The slow crawl is just, it's okay. If it didn't have worm gears in this thing, it would probably be absolutely terrible. So that's kind of why we get the worm gears. We do have an interior inside here, which has 2 men in there now. They are the same exact guy, so they must be twins, I guess. But you do get 2 riders in there, it looks like. No, one of them has a backwards hat. I thought it was a cowboy hat. Oh, that's cool. So I would probably take that one out and use it. I'm not a big fan of the cowboy hat, so I'd probably use that guy's head and something else, honestly. We do have a flip down tailgate somehow. Oh, you lift up a little bit. Of course, you've got this, which is, I don't know why that is like it is. I would have thought they could have did something different to give us a little bit of a bed, but pretty neat that they added the tailgate feature at least. Not like I'm ever gonna leave that open, I guess, but as you've seen there, working lights. I like that the mirrors do just kind of fold in, so if you hit anything, you're not gonna break those off. A lot of these things, I snap the mirrors right off. My TRX-4M, the High Trail, I've snapped mirrors off of it. Most of these trucks, if they don't have mirrors that fold in like that, they don't last long. So let's see what it'll do here with the slow crawl. We do have the same servo with those nasty links that have all that slop in them, and servo saver, all that stuff. You'll see the slow crawl, that's all you can get really. Not near as bad as some I've ran, for sure. It's just a lot of start-stop jerkiness. So that's why everybody ends up changing the ESC. So let's pull one of these shocks off really quick and take a look at it. These are a bead lock wheel, so you can just take the bead lock, take the screws out, and use these tires on some different wheels. So it's nice that we get tires that we're going to use later. You know, this is really the first RTR that we've got that had some tires that I would actually use. So that is cool. Usually don't like to try to pop both of those off, but very short, very small. So these are not going to be anything that you use on most other trucks. They are all plastic. And it looks like it just has a cap over the top. So there's like no, is that rubber? Yeah, that is just a like rubber, I think. I don't know if, I can't tell if that's rubber or if it's what it is, but be curious to see if that works at all. I highly doubt it. So these are not anything like I would buy to put on anything, but I mean, it's better than what we used to get at least. So they did do something there. And then the tires, like I said, the tires are really good. So the best thing about this truck, in my opinion, are these tires. So there you can see sort of the light buckets in the back. It doesn't really look like they would be real easy to put lights in. It really just looks like they're made to put these lenses in. So I don't know. You'd have to glue your light in it or something, it looks like to me. But anyways, let's take this thing out and run it a little bit. I want to take a quick look here at the trailer, kind of compare it. So let's take a look at the trailer here, because I was very excited about it and it looked good in the pictures, but it kind of feels very toyish when I get it in hand. It's just very toy grade. It's all plastic. It does have the plug that you can hook up to the ESC, so you have the brake lights and stuff. But besides that, it just feels very cheap. And it has these little things here you can flip up and your ramps will slide out. And then you have your ramp here. So you have two ramps, one on each side. That's nice. I have a little bit of a problem here sometimes with this hitting the wire on the light, and you can't hardly get that out. So this side's a little bit of a pain. This one's much easier. Overall, it just feels kind of cheap to me. Like, I was a little surprised. And you can see sort of trailers that we've kind of gotten used to getting. You know, this is the Injora one. These are the same price. And this one's a little more basic. It don't have the lights or ramps or anything. But for me, if you're going to try to haul these things around, this is going to work a little better. You've got more clearance, better tires. These tires are very just cheap. They really are just very cheap. And, you know, this does look pretty good, but it feels so like it's just all plastic. You know, this is metal. And so it just has that cheap look and feel to me. But you guys let me know what you think about it. I mean, it probably is a little more 24 scale, whereas this is more 18. But most of our 24s are to the point of basically being an 18 anyways. This is kind of a 20th scale probably. It does fit it really well. So I don't know. For some reason, it just feels very cheap, and I wasn't as thrilled with it as I thought I would be. This just kind of pops on, and it seems to hold good. It's pretty tight. So the combination looks good. I just thought this could have been a little nicer. So I don't know. I mean, it's got good detail. I like, you know, the detail to it, even the wood floor. But I don't know. It just, I can't figure out why. It just, I don't know. I guess because it's just all plastic. It just looks very cheap to me. But anyways, let's go run this thing. We'll see how it does. You guys let me know what you think about the trailer and the truck, and let's see what this thing can do. So let's put this on here with the battery installed and see what kind of vertical climb we're gonna get. And then we'll check the side hill, and then we'll go try it in real world situations, obviously. 54, 55, 56, 7, about 57 it looked like. And the side heel seems to really struggle. We didn't even make 40 with the side hill. So I started out on the indoor course, and you know, really this truck is more made for this, in my opinion. It fit my indoor course really well. The Scx24 is more narrow than like the FCX, you know, with the portals, and those axles are just much wider. So it fit the tight areas pretty well, and the longer length and the tires really made it perform overall really well. I was pleased with how it did on the indoor course. So when I took it outside, which I could kind of tell on this course even that it didn't like the side hill much. And then when I took it outdoors, it really struggled on the course out there just because it is a little more narrow and it's stock. It doesn't have any weight down low or anything yet. So I got to say, like, I think this is probably the best Scx24 we've seen. I mean, without a doubt, because for one, we're getting these tires that work very well. And then the oil-filled shocks, I do think they're a little stiff. A lot of times you'll see the thing is really just up on two wheels a lot, or cocking one of the front wheels way up. And I would notice when it would do that, that the side that should be squatted, like the passenger side right there, a lot of times wouldn't even be fully compressed. So they're short shocks, and then you're not really getting full travel because it's just not compressing all the way. So I think some of those things, just like that right there, we would have made even with just some weight in the wheels or heavier wheels. But also the shocks may be a little bit stiff, but maybe they'll kind of work in as time goes on. And that's always something you can change, the oil in those a little bit. Maybe when we get more weight, it won't seem as bad. You could always widen it, but I think with this body, it looks pretty good like it is. And like I said, I was pretty happy with how it performed inside here. Now, the slow crawl is terrible. I mean, you're on, off, on, off. That's why you really see me just kind of just like, there is no like smooth crawl through anything really. And that's just the ESC, and motor is really, the motors in these are okay, like for this truck right now. But as soon as we do add the weight down low, it's going to be way too weak to really pull the truck very well. So, you know, that's where you get into upgrading the electronics immediately. Whereas something like the FCX, I feel like those electronics are pretty dang good, even once you start adding weight and stuff. Here, the length kind of hurt me. The rear bumper likes to hang on things. I did take the hitch off, and I'm still kind of catching the bumper, but you can see it's able to make it up that. And these are some pretty good crawls for a completely stock truck. I mean, way better than most Scx24s. Now the AX, that thing crawled really well also. So, you know, those two are very close to me as far as performance out of the box, this one and the AX. I would have to give the advantage to this just because I think it looks much better for one. And I like the tires on it for sure. You know, that's a decent upgrade right out of the box. All of the little trimmings, like I mentioned, you know, with the door handles and that stuff. And then if I may go ahead and put the rack on the back once I add some weight in the wheels or something. So I think this is a good little truck to start with if you want to go the Scx24 route, you know, which is, in my opinion, more for indoor crawling. You know, most of the time, like on my outdoor course, the width and stuff of the FCX really comes in handy, and this thing just struggled. You'll see it in a minute. And even right here, it wanted no part of trying to make it across this wall here. And usually you can kind of hook the right tire on the top of that rock and just kind of hang yourself and make that line, but it was having no part of that. What? Here you'll kind of see again, the side hill really just struggles. I mean, anytime it starts to get a little off camber, it's just gone. It just dumps out. Of course, weight down low is going to help that a lot. So, you know, if you don't want to widen it up, just adding some weight, I think, is really going to make a difference when it comes to that. Now, if you add the rack and stuff on the back that is included, you're obviously adding more weight to the rear, but this thing climbs pretty dang good straight up. You just got to hit everything straight on. If you're trying to come into it cocked a little bit sideways, you're probably not going to make it. But the tires provide some really good traction. A lot of this stuff, you know, probably wouldn't have made it up without these tires. So I like that they give us the tires. The shocks probably need a little adjustment. The body, I was surprised how much I really liked the look of this body when I got it on the course. It just really looked good. There was a few times I'd be driving and I'm like, wow, that looks good, you know. So that's cool. If you like the body, it's a solid truck to start with, I think. Obviously, the Scx24, you're just going to have to plan on changing motor, ESC, and servo. But a lot of us that build trucks, you know, it doesn't matter what we get. We're going to change all of that anyways and change multiple things. So if you really want just the look of this body and are in the market for an Scx24, I think this is a great way for even somebody new to kind of get into the 24s. Even though it has its issues, it's better, you know. So I'm glad to see that it is slightly better. I still think they need to do a little more, but it's always good to get these new releases, you know. I'm glad to see that we continue moving forward with the 24s, because for a long time I just thought, man, like, there was a year or so there that I was just like, people are just not going to start biting on these, you know, and they're going to lose traction. But we just keep gaining, and we're getting more and more. And so I'm thrilled with any new release. Honestly, it's just another one out there that pushes the competition. And the entire reason Axial has pushed this a little bit and put the tires on it and did some things, I think, is because other companies have come into this market. So competition is good and really helps us to get a better product in the end. And this one is, I was surprised, you know. I was pretty happy with running it. Of course, it needs work. It's a stock truck. In my opinion, if you're looking for the best money, then the Furitek Fury Wagon is the better way to go for the brushless system and just overall performance, period. But this is a good offering, you know, so I can't be mad at it. You guys let me know what you think about it. I'll shut up, let you watch a little running. I'll chime in on some of the outdoor stuff, and I just kind of let you know what I thought about it outdoors as well. So here you're kind of seeing the side hill again right there. That passenger side shock is not compressing. The driver's side is not dropping. I'm trying to wiggle the steering to get the suspension to settle, trying to do anything I can to get it to settle a little bit. And it's really, you can't see it on the video, but I could kind of see up in there like that shock's not compressing all the way. So a little bit of work maybe on the shocks, and definitely weight's going to help that, obviously. But you can see it does not like side hill. I'll just repeat that probably 15 times in this video, but straight on climbs, it does really good, you know, because it is stretched out, kind of needs what it needs for that. And the tires help it as well. So, you know, some weight down low, and then that's going to lead to you're going to need a new motor because this motor can't handle weight, but performance is solid. There are a few places here in a bit. I just kind of tried to show you guys. I knew this wasn't going to make the climb, but I wanted to attempt it with this just so you guys could kind of see what a lot of these modded trucks are able to do, or even like some of the new RTRs like the Furitek are able to do stock. Because a lot of times people look at even this course and they're just like, oh, that's so easy, you know, but some of the climbs are much tougher than they look. Now, this is not the hardest possible crawling ever, you know, but it has some good, solid technical lines. And it's really why I built it like I did, because I can run each truck on the same exact line and know, well, this should do a little better, or that truck did better, or this needs that, or whatever. So, main concern with this one's side hill. And the slow crawl is not good, but I think you can get by with it. But I'm pretty sure as soon as you start adding the weight, these Scx24's motors, they just can't handle it. They'll stall out, and eventually you'll burn it up. But look at this climb. Straight up, the thing is going, you know. The tires hook, and it's got that length. So overall, a good, solid, performing RTR. Not amazing, but it's decent. And then it looks really good, you know. I like the body. I actually, once I started running it, I like the body more and more. And I've seen some people like trim the steps on it and the fender flares and stuff, and then kind of weather it and make it look really good. So I think this thing's going to lead to some really cool custom builds right there. Trying to come into it just at a little bit of an angle, nope, not going to happen. If I put it down here and kind of go straight up it, I'm good to go. So you guys let me know what you think about it. I'm going to shut up, let you just watch the rest of the running. I did enjoy driving this, probably more than I've enjoyed most any Scx24 in a good while as far as RTR. You know, the AX24 kind of surprised me a little bit, and I think this is another step beyond that, even with these tires and some oil shocks. So here's one of those climbs, you know, when you see trucks do that, you're like, well, it don't look that bad. This truck had no shot at even attempting those two climbs there. So let me know what you think about this one and the trailer. And I had some fun out with it. I definitely plan to run it some more, and I'm going to change the wheels, maybe add a little bit of weight. Maybe we'll slap a brushed motor in there, something simple, and see what we can do with it. I appreciate everybody watching. I'll link everything in the description. Peace.